Welcome to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. I'm Jody Walls.
I'm Brady Brock.
We're with GumTree Mortgage here in New Albany over on Starling Avenue. We specialize in home financing needs, whether it's a purchase, a refinance, or new construction.
And we're super passionate about trying to help you find the home of your dreams, help you get it financed, just like this one right here.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
You come out flat, you're going to have to get around to make up in the game. If you come out and hit them in the mouth on the first play, we're going to be fine.
Hello, I'd like to welcome you today to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. I'm Paul Henry with David Good, and this show is brought to you by
GumTree Mortgage, Jody Walls, Brady Brock. Those guys have done it since we started the coaching show. Also, Pam Brown and State Farm. Both those people do a tremendous job supporting us. So for any needs they can help you with, make sure you go see them.
Well, Coach, we rode down the road to Senatobia last Friday night and, had a great football game, real competitive. We just came up on the short end of the stick, didn't we?
Yeah, as the game came out swinging, beautiful first drive, did really well offensively. They turned around and, scored on the first play. And then I think we had 3 series where we went 3 and out or just didn't move the chains consistently enough. And they did. That was ultimately, we had a hard time tackling number 3 and number 2. Their quarterback and running back did a tremendous job. Ultimately, we had Parker Skinner go down, had some injuries at inside linebacker that we're dealing with, but just did not play well enough defensively to get them off the field. I think we did stop them a couple different times, and those stops, along with the offense doing well in the second half, gave us a chance to win. We're right there at the end. If we get the onside kick, I like our chances, but just needed another play. Another opportunity, needed one more thing to go our way to beat a good football team that Senatobia was.
Well, it was kind of like a track meet. I felt like, whoever had the ball better score. If not, the other team's going to go up. Yeah. And, they won a state championship last year in track, had a lot of team speed and such.
And I think, good football teams, you put it all together. I think you've seen us play better on offensive times, better on defensive times. We need to put it together. But you got to attribute Senatobia. They're a good football team. Number 3, number 2, those guys did a tremendous job. They're good football players, and they're going to make it hard for a lot of teams to tackle. There's a reason they've only gotten beat one time this year. They're a good football team.
Yeah, you mentioned our opening drive, 14 plays, capped off by a 16-yard run by Brady Shettle.
Yeah, and, I think you saw a good mix of run and pass, that getting us down the field. Had a penalty, overcame that at one point. And I think as far as penalties overall, we did a better job, containing that. Did not have near as many penalties as we had in some of the previous games. But our offensive line did well. Keelan ran the ball effectively, and then we threw the ball and caught it. So through a hitch. I know different things that I think pushed us down the field. A lot of our other drives were big plays. That was just a steady drive where we executed really well.
I thought Braden extended some plays really well the other night, kind of getting out and making some plays on his own down the field, Well,
and I think that's what he does. I think Friday certainly was Braden's probably best game as a performer. He was our player of the week, Tallahassee Nutrition. We appreciate what those guys do for us. Braden, I think he was 18 for, I know you got it, 26, I believe, something like that.
18, 26, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and a 2-point conversion.
Pretty busy night.
Two-point conversion.
So, like I said, Braden had a tremendous night. One of the things he does, attributes he brings to the table, is he does do a good job extending plays. To go along with that, some of our touchdowns have been him scrambling the pocket, extending the play, finding a guy, keeping his eyes downfield, finding a guy, and completing it. A couple of times we got sacked, and that's what we talked about him. There are times that it's kind of, you get the best of both worlds right there. Sometimes, we got to find a way to get rid of the ball and go to the next play. Sometimes he does a great job extending the play and finding guys downfield, though. So that's a big part of his game. He does a good job with that. One of the things that, as good as he does, we're still working on things, making a little bit quicker decision at times, and then knowing when it is okay to go to the next down. But we're really pleased with our quarterback's performance. He's doing a good job for us, and we're obviously excited to have Braden playing the way he is.
We were down 26-7, our 4th possession of the ball game. Well, time was running out in the first half. I know you like to score before halftime because they were getting the ball started in the second half, but we scored on a 4-play drive. We had a roughing the passer penalty. They added 15 yards on that about the second play, so it set us up for a 25-yard strike to Simpson. And
I think that was an example of Braden extending the play right there. He got a little pressure. He rolled out. kept his eyes downfield and found Keelan made a good play, caught the ball. Going into the game, I always like to try to defer and get the ball in the second half because we feel like we can get a 2-for-1 right there at the end. We can manage the clock, try to end the game with the ball, end the first half with the ball, and then get it again. Anytime you don't get the ball coming in the second half, you certainly won't do that. It's even more critical that you manage that clock and you end up with it last. Again, we started the half off really well and we finished it well with the score. So, in between those, we should have done a little bit better. Would have liked to have had more success in between those two drives.
Keelan's kind of been a real versatile back for us this year. He's run the ball well, and he's also catching the ball well out of the backfield and everything, right?
Keelan's a guy for us. He's a big, thick, physical runner. When we're doing a good job up front, and he's getting to those linebackers level, and those safeties level especially, they don't like to tackle him. He's a load to bring down. He's going to continue to get better and better. I think one of the things we're talking to him about, like right now, is his protection, whether it's out of the pocket leading for a stretch or a jet play, or he's pass protecting. He did a really good job on a play that later led to a touchdown, picking up a blitz and led to it. So, there's a lot of things to be a good running back, not just running the football, not just catching it, but blocking. He does a good job of that as well.
I show he had 14 carries for 77 yards and 2 receptions for 34 yards and a touchdown on the reception. So
he's over 100 yards there when you combine that. When you see Keelan with good numbers and success, our offense is going to be in better shape too, for sure.
Mentioned Braden as well. I show he had several different guys he went to this past week. Shaw, 6 catches for 58 yards. Shumpert, 4 catches, 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. DJ with 3 catches for 30 yards. Bolin with 1 catch for 16 yards, and Jaden Hicks 2 catches for 38 yards, and he also had a 2-point conversion.
And that's part of the reason we're a spread offense, because we think we've got some athletes that are good enough to get the ball to different guys. Caleb Shumpert had a tremendous game, like you said, 4 catches, 100-something yards, 2 touchdowns. The first one, both his touchdowns were huge plays. The first one we talked about, where Keelan picked up a block, threw a post over the top to Shumpert, caught the ball, made a guy miss, and went for the score. And then later we threw a post to him and caught it over a guy for a touchdown. But, Shumpert's a very good player, can stretch the field. He's got good speed, good size. He is our threat to go over the top on teams, or whether it's a fade, a post, or anything deep. And we hit those Friday night with him. So, but a really good job by him, coming down with those balls. He also had a big third down conversion where Braden again extended the play, saw him cut across the field in the formation, and he made a really good catch on a low ball too to extend the drive.
I think Shumpert's been one of those guys we've kind of been expecting this to happen one game, him to kind of blow up, and he showed up.
Yeah, he took advantage of opportunities Friday night. That's what we tell all those receivers, all those skill guys. I can't tell you exactly when it's going to be your time to make the play, but when we call your number, when Braden sees it, when the play works your way, just make the play, and that's what he did Friday.
Braden on the year, 62 of 99 for 990 yards. We talked a little bit last week in the pregame about percentage completion. He's at 62.6, got 13 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions on the season.
Me and Coach Robbins have talked about it before, and my number's always been 60%. He thinks that's even a little bit better, so, but anytime you're over 60, for sure, that's good. That doesn't mean we're satisfied there. Braden would like to see it at 70%, right? A lot of the passing game we do, we're being a spread team. We got a 205, 210-pound running back. We're going to, run the ball in the box. The quick game on the edge is basically an extension of our run game. And then we're going to take shots with Shumpert and Shaw and those guys. So by doing that and that being, basically that quick, simple passing game, an extension of a run game, we need to have a high percentage of it. And so we're fortunate that he is over 60% and playing well. The other stat there, I think he's only thrown 3 interceptions, in 5 games. So I think he's got 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's a pretty good ratio right there too.
Yeah, you got to be pleased with the play of the defense starting the second half. Get the ball turned over on the 2-yard line and a big goal line stand for you Bulldogs.
I think that was Senatobia trying to put the game away right there, and we held. And not only did they get a good stop right there, offense turned around and drove it 98 yards and scored. So, our defense, we certainly would have liked to have tackled number 2 and number 3 better. We gave them too many opportunities, too many missed tackles that we had. But they gave us the opportunity right there late in the game when they got a stop there, and then got one later too. So, we got to keep going. if we could take something back, we need to not have so many missed tackles.
As far as the second half goes, like I said, the goal line stand was a big one for me that stood out for the most part for the second half, and that was them only scoring one time in the second half as well. That was big for your defense.
Yeah, I think early in the game, we had the first drive, but then I think they scored 3 or 4 times. It was 7 to 20 something, so we were down 3 scores, and just kind of had to slowly chip away. And then, like I said, the second half, we started getting we got a couple stops. We converted those stops to points. All that together gave us a chance to get back in the game. The other thing that we converted on was a lot of our 2-point conversions we ended up going for. Just where the score was with them missing a field goal and us doing it. We went for that to kind of make it a 2-score game instead of a 3-score game. But we scored on 3 different 2-point conversion plays. And that was just an execution thing. Those guys, those are plays that we practice, don't run them a whole lot. But they're there if we need them, and they did well and execute those plays.
Well, I tell you what, our defense, Coach Murphy's defense, has kind of had a lot of adversity this year.
Yeah.
I think we're probably having to make linebackers, or we're not.
Yeah, like I said, anytime you lose 2 senior linebackers, that hurts. Then Parker Skinner he got hurt the second drive of the second defensive drive. And Parker's a kid that's been solid for us. He got a lot of reps last year, and it was a starter this year, obviously. So now essentially we're down to that third and fourth and fifth option at inside linebacker, which creates us moving some other pieces around to kind of make that fit. But we just got to have that next guy step up. Our guys all want to get the job done, right? Nobody goes into a football game wanting to get beat. Nobody goes out to a football game and doesn't want to make that tackle, doesn't want to make that catch, whatever it may be. But we just got to continue to get better, continue to, like I said, the big thing take away probably not from a defensive standpoint is we had opportunities to tackle 3, tackle 2, and we didn't. We missed tackles. We let him get the edge on us. And again, the reason that is because they're two really good players too.
Yeah, well, before we get into talking about tackles and all that, there was one penalty in the game that kind of was a head scratcher for me. Yeah. We got called for hurdling a player. I've never seen that call.
Well, that was, that was on that 98-yard drive. I think we came out in a Bama set, I believe, and what we call Bama, it's a heavy set with a tight end H-back. Ran power a time or 2, and then we got DJ in there. We're going to run a counter play. I got clogged up, and he just jumped the guys. So that rule is there, trying to protect people, trying to protect players, and it's the right call, but it's definitely an unfortunate one because he's trying to extend the run, trying to make a play, and it led to a penalty.
You see these guys in college every week. They're trying to jump over somebody and all that. So I know DJ thought he was doing the right thing.
And in the NFL and college, that's what these guys grow up. They're watching it. They want to make that prolific play, just like they see. So it was a good play. I mean, he made a tremendous play.
Yeah. Good highlight film.
Right, and kept going. Unfortunately, though, they saw it and called it, and I backed us up a little bit. But the good thing there was we did overcome that. And kept on going, and that penalty didn't stop us that possession.
Some of the guys for tackles this week, I have Cortland Earl with 9 tackles versus Senatobia with 29 on the year. I've got McKylan Cameron with 7 tackles this week for 32 on the year. DJ, Jaden, and Ethan Conley both with 6 tackles. Versus Senatobia this week as well.
Anytime you're calling out tackles, you're calling out some of our best players, right? Corwin Earl is a guy that's just been solid for us. He played safety last year. We brought him and DJ Robinson both closer to the ball. They're both playing outside linebacker. Cortland's kind of a mixed guy that he can. He's big enough, strong enough to take on run guys, and is fast enough to play in space. McKylan Cameron is a really good corner for us. Don't really want McKylan to have that many tackles because that means they're getting to the edge and whatnot. Right. But when they do, whether it's putting him on their best receiver or trusting him to make a play in space, he's able to do that. And then Conley and Jaden Hicks and some of those guys up front, they do a good job. That's where it all starts defensively. We really feel like we're pretty talented in the defensive front. Those guys' job is to contain gaps and keep guys off linebackers. And then those linebackers got to play stepping up. So it's really critical that Hicks and Conley play well. They've done that. And so for us to be successful, they're going to have to keep doing that.
Yeah. I've been really impressed with Cortland and his motor this year, man. He is getting after you every night, every play. When he steps on the field, it's just tremendous effort, relentless.
Cortland's an effort guy. He's going to give you what you got. He's going to play full speed. He's going to play hard. You never have to worry about Cortland taking a play off or getting tired out there. Even though he does get tired, right? He's going to give you everything he's got. So that's just a part of his character. He's been that way through his whole high school career. He's just a guy that whatever you're doing, you can count on Cortland Earl to give it his best.
We scored right before the end of the ball game, about 2 minutes left to go in the game, to make it 34-31, tried an onside kick, and thought we had it. That was an exciting play for them.
Yeah, Shaw, one of our best players, had a chance with it. Just didn't come down with it. You got to give Grayson Alexander a lot of credit. Kicked one extra point, then we ended up going for two several times. But did a good job kicking off. We went for another onside kick earlier in the game, just kind of a surprise deal. Had an opportunity there. And then just when it came down to it, needed to get that onside kick, he put one right there where it needed to be. That gave us a chance. So proud of the way he's playing and continue to do. We'd obviously like to have that one back because they hadn't stopped us. And I don't think they would have that drive either. I think we would have had a chance to win the game or at least tie it because, like I said, Grayson, we got a lot of confidence in him too.
2 minutes, around 2 minutes to go, a little under, a little over, 2 minutes to go about that time.
Yeah, I mean, where he touched it, we're somewhere around the 35-yard line too, so we don't have that far to go,
I've never seen a ball stay down on the ground like the one that Grayson kicked. Right. It never popped up. It was perfect.
Right, and it just kind of skirted through that front line and ended up getting through there. So, one we'd like to have back. I think Shaw probably makes that play 95% of the time, just didn't on that one. But we got a lot of confidence in Shaw too. I think if he did it again, he'd definitely make the play. So, ideally we're not in that situation, right? We're not 3 scores down in the first quarter, and not having to dig ourselves out of the hole. At halftime, we talked to those guys about, just having that fight and finish and effort was not usually an issue with them. But, that's an opportunity for a team to they can lay down. They say, hey, we're down 3 scores, down 2 scores, whatever the case is, or we can bow our neck up and, try to get after it. And they did that. We were really pleased with the way they played the second half, pleased with their effort, pleased with the fight that they showed. I think, like I said, we need to get over that hurdle, over that hump, beating a good team in a big game like that. Just was a little bit short against Senatobia.
On the road in the division.
Yeah.
We right there with them, and it just didn't go our way right there.
Well, I think, that's all. We've got to play every week, right? But I do think us and Senatobia are the 2 best teams in our division. Right. And so for all intents and purposes, I think that was, odds are that was for the division. So it was just a big game, and we fell a little short.
Well, we're going to take us to a break now. We've got a busy week here in New Albany, homecoming week. We've got a really talented Byhalia team coming in, but we're going to take it to a break and be right back with you.
It's finally game time. The smell of the fresh cut grass, the sound of the drums as the band gets ready to perform, and of course the roar of the crowd as our hometown New Albany Bulldogs enter the field. Jody Walls and Brady Brock with GumTree Mortgage here in New Albany remember those days and agree they were some of the best. They also want your mortgage experience to be the best as well. They pride themselves on excellent customer service and establishing a personal connection with their clients. They also have the knowledge and programs to fit your mortgage needs. So whether you're building, buying, or refinancing your current home, they want to help. Call them and set up an appointment today. Jody Walls and Brady Brock with GumTree Mortgage. Let them help make your dreams come true. Go Dogs!
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Pam Brown for your personal price plan today.
I'd like to welcome you back to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. Mm-hmm. Coach, we got a busy week in New Albany. It's got homecoming week in New Albany High School, and got a very talented group from Byhalia coming to our field.
Year in and year out, Byhalia, you see those guys sign from different Division I and college football players. When you watch film, you go see them, you're going to see some big guys, some strong guys, some fast guys. There is, like you said, a lot of talent out there. For whatever reason, they've struggled putting together. They've got a 1-5 record. They beat H.W. Byers. They've lost to the 2 films we've got are West Lowndes and Holly Springs. Both those teams have beat them. So they're not really getting it done on Friday night. But like you said, there's a lot of talent. The quarterback, number 1's a 6'5", 190-pound kid. That's, I think, a sophomore. That is just just a talented athlete. And then they'll bring another guy, number 12, who I think maybe a junior. He's not a good quarterback, but just they're going to have speed on the field. We just got to make sure, where we do our blocking assignments. We give our skill guys opportunities to make plays. And the big thing I want to see is their defense wrap up better, and just bring people down when they have a chance to.
They got a first-year coach, D'Angelo Ballard. They've seemed to have struggled with head coaches over the last several years. Not got a lot of consistency there, so that may be a part of their struggles that they're having.
Yeah, it was several years ago. Coach Danley did it and did a pretty good job there, John. But since then, they've changed it up. They've had a lot of turnover, and anytime you're getting that turnover as a head coach, it's hard to build consistency, hard to kind of get that program going. So, hopefully the coaches that are there now will be able to be there, stick around, and you want those kids to have that and have a good opportunity, even though we want to beat them every time we play them.
You mentioned West Lowndes coming off that loss last week, 42-6.
Yeah, just when you watch the film, there's some things with offense and defensively where they just don't execute. Our hope is that they don't figure it out Friday night, right? Because with that talent they've got, if you let a guy loose, you miss an assignment, it can lead to points. So, we certainly feel good about it. We think we're a very good football team. We're 3-2. We've lost to an Itawamba team who's historically been a very good talented. I don't think we played our best game there. I think against Senatobia, they're just a talented team that we played pretty well in a lot of areas, but just fell short. That being said, I think we're a really good football team. I think we're a better team than Byhalia. I think our guys are going to get after it. And I think everybody's going to like the results when the game's over.
You already mentioned a couple of guys, a couple of quarterbacks. Number one, Luce, 6'5", 190, a sophomore. He's 23 of 47 for 234 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, and has 7 rushes for 31 yards. The other quarterback, number 12, Greers, is 6 foot, 150-pound junior, 7 of 16 for 153 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Offensively, you're going to see them with spread concept stuff. You're also going to see them with 2 H-backs, 3 H-backs, some heavy personnel get in there where they're trying to run power and stretch and some things like that and just snapping it to an athlete and letting them run. We've got to be ready for both those things. So those are 2 pretty different things, right? It's kind of similar to our spread concept. And then when we bring tight ends and H-backs in the game and let Keelan try to pound the football. So, with that, we've got to control the line of scrimmage when those H-backs are in there and they're trying to run the football. When they're trying to spread it out, we got to make sure we get pressure on that athlete, number 1 and number 12, and lock those receivers down. So I think they're certainly able to do that. I think, like I said, we're still a very talented defense. I think it'll be interesting to see, us moving some pieces around, trying to fill those spots at inside linebacker. You're going to see guys like Keelan Simpson not just play running back. You're going to see him at linebacker some. You're going to see Cade Pipkin there. Parker Hicks is the guy that started practicing with the varsity this week. So you're going to see some new guys kind of moving around on the defensive side, trying to find those answers, trying to get the people in the best spots possible. But a lot of confidence in Coach Murphy, Coach Sean Sanks, Coach Summers, and those guys that put that defense together. I'm just excited about them, what they're going to do.
When you start talking about moving ninthgraders, they got to be ready to play, right?
And no doubt. Parker's he's a tremendous athlete. He's a good baseball player, good football player. Parker, Trey King, he's another outside linebacker that's been practicing with us. So there's a few of those young guys that we're excited about right there. There's others that could be up there. Those particular ones are up there because of the need and the injuries that we've got. But excited about what some of those young players now and in the future are going to bring to the table. Excited about some of those middle school guys too that'll be up with us soon.
A couple of running backs to kind of look out for. Number 7, Wilson, 5'7", 145 pounds, sophomore. He's had 38 carries for 321 yards, 4 touchdowns, also 12 receptions for 109 yards. So need to know where he's at all times.
Yeah, pretty impressive average right there. That many yards and that few touches.
Right.
Smaller guy, quick scat back guy. That we need to stop him before he gets going. We're going to have to make sure we tackle him in space. Is not as elusive or as quick as number 3 was. About the same size as Senatobia's quarterback right there. Doesn't quite have his quick twitch and movement, but a very fast, very good player that we got to corral.
Another running back, number 9, Williams, a 6 foot, 180 pound senior, 18 carries, 135 yards and a touchdown. A couple of wide receivers. Their biggest receiver, as far as the most number of catches, number 4, Millers, 5'7", 140-pound senior, 6 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. Also, number 22, Jones, 6'2", 175-pound senior, 3 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown.
You know, you talk about 6'2", 175. We're talking about Shumpert out there. You know, good looking guy. You know, again, you know, we just got to make sure first and foremost it's going to start with their running game. You know, and that's, you know, 90% of the teams we're playing, that's what you got to stop first. You know, so we need our D line to continue to play well. We need some of our the movement pieces that we're moving around at linebacker to kind of fall in place and continue to play well. And then the secondary, a lot of times you're going to find those guys, because we're trying to stop the run, in single coverage, man coverage, different things. They just got to make the play, got to lock down guys and can play. And they're certainly capable of that. So, you know, when you look at them offensively, again, they haven't had that much success, but they've got the players there that can pop at any time and can go the distance. I think when you start looking at their defense, you know, that speed's there as well. So we've got to do a good job on our offense. Up front, putting hats on hats, blocking. You know, they say it all the time: the team that blocks the best, team that tackles the best, probably going to win the football game. So on offense, we got to make sure we're executing blocks. We need Keelan to have a big night on both sides of the ball this week. But you know, we need him over 100 yards. You know, getting 6-7 yards a carry, that type of thing. So that offense keeps getting first downs, controls the ball, gets the defense off the field more, and just putting it together. So I think, you know, they defensively they move pieces around. You'll see them in what we call split 4, where they got 4 D linemen, 4 linebackers. They'll also, you know, take another guy out and play a 3-man front. So I think they're trying to move pieces around too, trying to find out what they need to be in to give them the best chance to be successful. So, but you know, offensively we have rules. You know, regardless of where they line up, you've got a blocking assignment, you've got, you know, a route combination. So it really doesn't matter how they line up. We just got to find the pieces, put the playmakers in the right position to make a play. And then, like I said, block up front, control the line of scrimmage.
Their leading tackler on their defense is a linebacker, number 2, Austin, 5'7", 170-pound senior with 44 tackles and also 9.5 tackles for loss.
Yeah, that's a lot, you know, in 6 games. You know, we certainly, again, starting up front, controlling that line of scrimmage, we've got to do a good job of keeping our eyes up. You know, when you're down in that 3-point stance, you have a tendency sometimes to drop that head, not to see where those linebackers are. And then if you're late, you know, if you don't see them early enough, they can get by you. So that's something that, you know, we've got to make sure Coach Stubb works on all the time with those O-linemen. And, you know, we were playing pretty well up there right now, and so we're excited about that. I think, you know, like I said, for the most part, they can come, that guy can bring pressure, but we're going to be able to pick him up.
You mentioned earlier about the Dogs' success versus Byhalia. We won the last 7 games against Byhalia. We're 8-2 overall, with the last win in 2022 of 49-6 over Byhalia.
You know, year in and year out, they're going to have some athletes. You know, they're going to be athletic, they're going to be fast, they're going to be strong and physical. You know, execution, and those are the types of things that you've seen them not do as well as they need to in past. But, you know, 7 in a row, we want to certainly make sure we're 8 in a row. It's a team that, without a doubt, we need to beat, should beat, and just, you know, need a good game. We want to go in there, win big, you know, get a lot of confidence going. These next 3 games are big games for us in the division, and then we're going to wrap the season up with Ripley. So we know Ripley's undefeated right now, so we're definitely already thinking about them, even though we're not going to overlook these other opponents.
Homecoming this week.
Yeah, we got a huge week in New Albany. Yep. Homecoming, a lot of traditions, a lot of things going on. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see?
You know, and this is our 3rd homecoming in a row. You know, we've traveled to Pontotoc. You know, they all count as far as the record goes, for sure. But this is the one that we're going to get to enjoy, right? We're going to make sure our community, they support us the way they do. But like you said, it's our homecoming. There's going to be a big program that happens, you know, Friday at 1:30, where they're going to crown the queen, do all the things that they do there. Thursday, there's going to be a pep rally, a community-wide pep rally, where we'll do the parade and it'll end down there at the park by the river. So just a big event. We want those guys. We want the football players, the school, the middle school, the elementary, all to have a big time. You know, we're seeing pictures on Facebook and social media of everybody dressing up and whatnot. We want it to be a great community event, right? We do. We kind of hone those football players. We kind of pull them back in and say, look, guys, enjoy it, have fun, you know, but your focus needs to be make sure on Friday that it's right there at 7 o'clock ready to beat Byhalia, because nobody wants to, you know, go through homecoming and not come out on top, right? But a lot of good things, you know, happen in homecoming, a lot of good positive things for New Albany, the city, and the schools.
Well, when will the court be presented?
Well, there's 2 of them. You know, like I said, one of them they're going to crown the queen at 1:30. Then Friday night they're also going to present a court before the game That'll start at 6:30 prior to kickoff.
Okay.
And then at halftime, you've got both bands. Our band, David Hopple and them, have done a tremendous job. They've had 2 different competitions, one at Corinth, one at Northeast recently, in preparation for their championship. So both the bands will perform at halftime. You'll get a look at that and them getting ready for their competitions. And then, like I said, hopefully we play a good second half after that and enjoy the result of the game. But a lot of good stuff happening Friday night, and crowning the queen before and then presenting them again before the game.
All right. Well, we'd like to give a huge shout out to our band. I think last week in their competition, I think they had a lot of first place finishes and everything. About everything they did, they had a first place finish in. So, Mr. Hopple and them, Mr. Lang, Mr. Hunt, everybody involved in our band, parents.
And their numbers are growing. I know I talked to them earlier this week. They talked about, hopefully right now next year getting into 90 and then getting back over 100 real soon. So they're growing, more involvement, getting back in there. I think they're still kind of getting over a little bit of that COVID lull, right?
Yes, sir.
That a lot of our schools and different programs are getting over. David Hopple does a tremendous job supporting athletics, the football program. He does a great job with the band.
Yes, sir.
Is just an outstanding man and runs a great program.
It's also homecoming at Northeast this week. And one thing that New Albany folks might want to know is that Johnny Payton is going to be inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame at Northeast this week. That'll be happening Thursday. So so we're excited for Johnny.
Anytime you hear about athletics in New Albany, depending if you start looking back at years past, his name's going to come up. Mr. Payton and Mr. Kent, the mayor here, both of them came, spoke to the team early in the year. He passed his yearbook around, and it showed, I think it was 36-0 that year that they won state. And those other guys saw that. They also had a really good football season. He played football for New Albany. Just tremendous athlete. It's a huge honor to have the success he had here, but also getting inducted to the Northeast Hall of Fame. It's a tremendous asset for him. Like I said, 2 names I hear about all the time are Johnny Payton and David Good. And you start looking back at those names. So, but no, Mr. Payton is a tremendous athlete and a great guy in the community. I hear him doing a lot of good things. So we're really proud that he's getting inducted to the Northeast. We appreciate them doing that and glad he had the success he had.
Well, exciting week. We're gonna cap it off with a W against Byhalia this Friday night.
No question. Like I said, a talented team. Fortunately for us, we're going to be the better team Friday night. Excited about seeing those guys. Excited about seeing some of those new pieces on defense get the job done. Excited about the success the offense had this past week, building on that, going to the next level. Just want to play with confidence. Want to play sound football execution. Limit turnovers, limit penalties, and then all those things put them together are going to lead to a lot of success.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield.
Yep.
Closing out, Paul Henry and David Good, brought to you by
GumTree Mortgage, Jody Walls, Brady Brock, also Pam Brown, State Farm. Both those businesses do a tremendous job supporting us, so we greatly appreciate them.
Thank you, and go Bulldogs.
Here at Pam Brown State Farm, we are so excited to sponsor Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. We have served New Albany for a quarter of a century, and we are so proud to continue to serve this wonderful community far into the future. We look forward to a fantastic season for Coach Stubblefield and the Bulldogs. Good luck, and go Dogs!